Do you love design? On Driven by Design, we're having conversations with designers about how they got into the field, what they're working on today, and what they're thinking about for the future. Curious? Then get in. Hi, I'm John Hamilton, and this is Driven by Design. And today's guest is Mathias Hahn.
All right, good. Alles gut?
So, alles gut, ja.
Tell me about your background. Tell me about yourself while we're here.
I started painting from early on. My grandmother was a painter. She taught me the basics of, techniques, color, and so on, and then found out there's something called product design, industrial design, where I could still draw and make 3D things. I studied in Essen, which at the time was a very classic industrial design education. So it was the first industrial design course that reopened after the war. From that on, I just teamed up. After graduating, I teamed up with a couple guys from my course, and we decided we need a workshop, like a place to make things.
Yeah.
And at some point we called it OK Studio. So it became like a kind of collective, but without any manifesto or shared clients or something. Like we started doing exhibitions together, sharing space, sharing lunches and things like that. So we start to create this bubble within London to just work alongside each other, and have a good company and have a creative exchange and discourse on a very high level. And it's something, if you told me 10 years ago, I would have said no way, it's not realistic.
So what are your favorite type of design projects then? It seems like you're doing, or you can do, a variety of things.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying, or I always try to keep things diverse in a way.
You actually went and got a little loom and really started understanding the process.
Yeah.
And taught yourself to weave a little bit, and then from that came back with some ideas of, hey, what about if you did a rug in these ways, which they found surprising and interesting, and why they wanted to start working with you.
Yeah, this project has been amazing because I think they were kind of a bit blown away. Like first time I met Nani in Barcelona, she was like, "Oh, Mathias, you bring so many things. Usually designer never brings so many things." and the first time I went there, I came with I had 50 little
3D sketches.
Like little patches of weaving of something that I tried out, and we're just starting points. And, so I came there and said, okay, I'm not showing you a concept yet. I show you what's been on my mind, what kind of areas I'm tapping into. I would say in terms of process and experience, one of the most pleasurable collaborations I had in a long time. And it's amazing because now I opened up this door into textile design, and it just created more craving for, doing fabrics, and I'm sure something will come out.
For me right now, that's a part of modern craft, or what we've been talking about, modern craft. It's like understanding these old materials, these old processes or techniques, and trying to reinterpret them in ways that add different values and make them relevant in, the ways that people are using things today, and the things that they are using today that have changed. Because weaving is not changed in thousands of years, probably.
I think design in general, for me, is a cultural tool in a way. It's in the same way that language and letters are the tool for expressing something. It's like, why do you design another chair? The answer is the same. Then why do I go to cinema and I see another love story or another? Why do I read a book about a certain theme that has been written about like a million times. I mean, we're in constant evolution in that sense, and that's how we read and perceive the things that surround us. I think a big solution to many problems could be people being more kind of self-driven on what they use and how they use it.
You're trying to move away from consumerism or materialism.
Yeah, for me, understanding these things,
Why do you choose grass over dirt when you're outside?
exactly,
Right?
and
Grass
understanding where archetypes come from, where typologies evolved, and is fundamentally within human culture. And understanding these things, I think, is one of the most amazing parts of this job. In the end, I try to do that in as many areas as I can.
What's your next?
Well,
What's
my
your
next-
material you're curious about or process or?
Well, there's much on the list. I would really like to take some time to dive into glass, and not because it's a traditional material. I mean, I'm equally interested in, like kind of when we did this trip, we saw Stoll is a manufacturer for these 3D knitting machines.
Yeah.
And that has been amazing.
Love that. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't really point something down. And I think I'm sure you came across Sendung mit der Maus. It's kids program, a German kids program.
yeah.
I mean, this is something I grew up with, and this concept about being curious about how things are made, how things work, this is what drives me.
We have this show called How Things Are Made, and they take you into the factory. They'll show you, they're making a baseball glove or a light bulb.
Yeah.
Or,
And
I can watch it for days.
I think at the same time, in the last 10, 15 years, there's been so much increasing general public interest in these things anyway. So many brands and companies are showing these things and showing design process. And, I think there's a reason why people are interested in this.
I think that's where we're lucky as designers. Our role is we get to see that process, and then we actually get to participate in it.
I love evolution in design, and I love understanding very traditional things, and I love understanding the complete new technologies and potential that lies within, the important bit in design education, I think, is to empower people to find their own passion and drive for why they want to do something, and then basically to create their own professional job with it. I mean, most of the people that I meet that are working really creatively are the ones that found their niche or their theme or topic that really drives them and that really makes them want to change things, and then finding ways how to get that into reality. And fundamentally, I think it's one of the hardest things to learn for a designer, I think, is to understand your own process. How do you work as a person? Because if I'm confronted with a brief or with a professional task, I need to know how, which strings to pull to get myself somewhere. In the end, most of the professions we have these days are creative or need to be creative in order to get to new places and in order to develop things.
What are the most important jobs in the world, if you think about it? And you have these ones that are kind of life-threatening almost, doctors and people who are really dealing with situations that are critically important to all of us. But teachers in the States don't have, I would say, the same cachet that the doctors do. They're not paid at the same level. I want, now that my kids are in school and I'm sitting there looking at these things, I'm like, I want the best, education, that they could possibly get, and I want the people teaching them to be the best that they could possibly be.
It has so direct impact. I mean, as I was telling in the beginning, this teacher had it for 1 year. I learned color theory, classic photography. We did darkroom things, perspective drawing, technical drawing. We did an animation movie. I won a prize with it and stuff. And he spent the summer holidays with us in his private time to work on these things. And looking back, I owe this man so much.
Yeah. I find the other thing you can do is take things for granted. And when I step away from things, it makes me realize those things that I have and how lucky you are and how much I cherish them.
Cool. Thank you so much.
It's great to see you, man.
It's been amazing.
All right, I'll have to look up here.
All right. Cool. Just grab my bag.
Great seeing you.
Cool. Thank you.
Cheers.
That's it for Driven by Design. Thanks for watching and see you next time.